So far, we have basically implemented most of the functions in the game. However, there are still some missing parts. For example, player animation to play does not change with player status. Mutual damage between zombies and players. Haven't seen the effect yet. Let's treat these problems as bugs. By troubleshooting these problems, learn some practical tips for corporate game development. First of all, here we go. The problem of player animation and state mismatch. We found a custom script for player animation playback. Double-click to open. Discover Animation Control Script Player Animation. No method on update. So, there is no change according to the player state. To manage animations, so we need to perfect. We add a method for character animation control. Then call this method in the onUpdate method. Here we go. We need to think. Correspondence between character states and animations. The player character has 4 states. Death, idle, forward and backward. Corresponding to 4 kinds of animation. The state of death among these 4 states. We are already in the player manager. Corresponding processing and records have been made. So, we are in the player animation group. Add settings for player management components. Use to bind player management components to obtain player status. Simultaneously, in the editor, bind the node where the player management component is located. Then in the character animation control method, adding logic to death animation controls. When the direction vector is 0, player is idle. There are 2 more states, forward and backward. How to distinguish? You find out if the player moves in the direction and viewing angle less than or equal to 90 degrees. The player is advancing. Otherwise, the player is retreating. It needs to be used here. Math knowledge. We know that the cosine of a right angle is 0. The cosine of an acute angle is positive. The cosine of an obtuse angle is negative. And the dot product of two vectors is equal to the length of two vectors multiplied by the cosine of the angle between two vectors. So, a value that can be multiplied by a vector dot to determine whether the player is moving forward or backward. So, we add an else branch. Then within this branch, first calculate the point range in the direction of movement and the direction of viewing angle. Then determine whether the dot product is greater than or equal to 0. If greater than or equal to 0, then play a moving animation. That's moving forward. Otherwise, then play back animation. Remove the player's perspective. Follow and test. It is found that the animation of each state of the player is normal. Then check whether to enable reset player. Reduce reset timer time. Test player resurrection logic. Players come back to life every few seconds after they die. And here we go. The problem with bullets not killing zombies. Check bullet custom script. Found an object to detect that collided with the bullet. Does it belong to a specific level? And there is a health custom component on the component. Then, here we go. Is there a life force component on the zombie prefab? And whether it belongs to the same level as the bullet. Drag the zombie prefab used in the game into the game scene. Found life force components mounted on it. Drag the bullet prefab used in the game to the game scene. Watch zombie prefabs and bullets. Check whether the enemy level is consistent. Bullet detection level found. The zombie predictor level defaults to 0. So, hierarchy needs to be added. And put the zombie predictor node on the third layer. Regenerate zombie prefabs. And modify the relevant references zombie prefab place association. Click the Add Layer button. Add the level as follows. Then modify the stiffness. The level of the corpse node is zombie. Set the layer to all child objects. Then regenerate the zombie prefab. And bind it back together. Where to use zombie prefabs? Found out that players can kill zombies. So far, the basic functions of our game have been realized. Everyone can build on this. Continue to expand and improve. Encounter other bugs or issues. Can communicate with us after class. I hope you can improve the game-related functions by yourself and fully test it. Next class, we will teach you how to package and publish the game.